They're like, get this crazy man off the streets.
Notice, but lately I've been drifting aimlessly.
No timeouts. Tyreke at the hole. If you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball.
With the fourth pick in the 2009 NBA draft, the Sacramento Kings select Tyreke Evans from the University of Memphis.
Within the NBA's course of 74 years, there's been some notable game winners by some notable players. In the case of the craziest buzzer beater of all time, this isn't the case. But first, we need to go back to September 19th, 1989, Chester, Pennsylvania, where Tyreke Jameer Evans is born. Throughout Tyreke's childhood, he was raised by 3 older brothers who gave him the passion for Tyreke's basketball career at a young age. When Tyreke was just 6 years old, his older brothers would duct tape his right arm to his body, forcing him to dribble with his left hand. Tyreke also would play basketball twister to improve his first steps while dribbling and his movement with the ball. Tyreke quickly became passionate about the sport, playing in the rain and snow and even carrying his basketball to bed. When Tyreke made it to high school, his family started treating basketball like a career and a business, calling themselves Team Tyreke. They provided Tyreke with trainers, chiropractors, and coaches, trying to do whatever they needed to prepare him for the next level. Tyreke immediately became the best player on his high school team and was one of the early horsemen of basketball mixtapes, with one of the more popular videos being against the AAU team Mean Streets Express, led by a young 18-year-old Derrick Rose out of Chicago. Tyreke was drawing comparisons to NBA greats such as Tracy McGrady as early as his sophomore year in high school. In 2008, Tyreke was selected to be a part of the McDonald's All-American game, along with being selected as a game's MVP. In April of 2008, Tyreke was considered to be the 3rd best guard and the 6th best high school player in the nation. Tyreke had a few colleges in his radar, including the University of Villanova and the University of Texas, but decided to play under John Calipari's Memphis Tigers. The Tigers a year prior were led by the same young kid out of Chicago, Derrick Rose, who Tyreke played against in his AAU days. Under Rose, the Tigers went to the national championship game but fell short as they lost to the Jayhawks. Rose then declared for the 2008 NBA draft, being picked first to the Chicago Bulls. The Tigers were in desperate need of a new point guard now they lost their freshman star in Rose, so Tyreke was his new replacement. Transitioning from small forward, which he played in high school, to guard during college. Tyreke started off slow at the shooting guard, but then was moved to the starting point guard midway through the season. Oversized point guards were not yet normalized in basketball, so for Tyreke to be a 6'6" guard, this was more of an experiment at the time. This experiment ended up paying off. He won Rookie of the Week 8 times and put up phenomenal numbers for a rookie, averaging 17 and 5. Memphis would sadly fall short to Missouri during the NCAA tournament in the Sweet 16. This prompted Tyreke to enter the upcoming 2009 NBA draft. Scouting reports had ranked Tyreke a 94 out of 100 as an overall player. He had many strengths, including his size, his ball handling, and his vision. His weaknesses were his lack of a jump shot, his defense, and his lack of leadership. Tyreke would be selected with the 4th pick of the 2009 NBA draft to the Sacramento Kings.
With the 4th pick in the 2009 NBA draft, the Sacramento Kings select Tyreke Evans from the University of Memphis.
There are a lot of point guards in this draft. And there is a lot of reason to believe that Tyreke Evans, if not now, will be the best of all these point guards in 3 years.
Tyreke would be surrounded with future stars in the 2009 NBA draft, with the likes of Steph Curry, James Harden, Blake Griffin, Drew Holiday, DeMar DeRozan, and many solid role players. Evans did not disappoint at the beginning of his young career. He was named Western Conference Rookie of the Month as early as December of 2009. Tyreke's numbers throughout this period were astonishing for a rookie, averaging 18.8 points and 5 rebounds. One of the most notable games of Tyreke's rookie year was against the Chicago Bulls on December 21st, where he played the leading role in leading the Kings out of a 30-point deficit. Evans singly outscored the Bulls in the 4th quarter, scoring 9 of the Kings' 11 points in the 4th quarter. In January of 2010, Tyreke won Rookie of the Month for the Western Conference for the 2nd month in a row. He was on a tear, lighting up every team he played against, and was a clear favorite to win Rookie of the Year. Tyreke was selected to be a part of the Rookie of the Year sophomore game and ended up winning the game's MVP on his phenomenal performance that night. The Rookie of the Year race was mainly between 3 players, which were Steph Curry, Brandon Jennings, and Tyreke Evans. Tyreke was a clear favorite because of his consistency. Curry and Jennings were more often on every night. Tyreke would go on to win this Rookie of the Year in the 2009 to 2010 season, which would be the biggest accomplishment of his whole career. career. Tyreke was the only glimmer of hope for this sad Sacramento team. The Kings would end up finishing the 2009-2010 season with a record of 25-57, putting them last place in the West. The Kings would go on to have the 5th pick in the 2010 NBA draft and would select a big man out of Kentucky,
DeMarcus Cousins.
Tyreke now had a true second option, and the Kings could maybe try to push to be in contention. The Kings, on the other hand, started to get impatient and decided they weren't going to seriously win with Tyreke at the point guard. So they started to experiment and tried to play him at the shooting guard and sometimes even at the small forward, even though he was originally a point guard. The Kings finished with an even worse record than the year before, losing an extra game even with the addition of DeMarcus Cousins. The night of December 29, 2010, the Memphis Grizzlies were in Sacramento facing against the Kings. The start of the season couldn't have gone any worse for the Kings up at this point. The record was 6-23. The Grizzlies, on the other hand, were a little less than 500 with a record of 14-18. This game was supposed to be one of the easier games for the Grizzlies, but it didn't turn out like that. The Grizzlies were only shooting 33.3 from the 3 compared to the Kings' 47.1, but turnovers by the Kings let the Grizzlies stay in this game and keep it close. Zach Randolph on the Grizzlies was having a season high during this game with 35 points on the night with 22 seconds left, up 1 with the ball. But then Tyreke Evans would get a steal on OJ Mayo and would have an open dunk and would put the Kings up by 1.
OJ Mayo just holding the ball out there. Tyreke Evans again, a great individual defensive play and gets the throwdown.
The Grizzlies would still have a chance to take the lead and possibly hit the game winner, and the ball was passed into the same player who just lost the ball 1 possession ago, OJ Mayo. Being forced to take an off-balance shot with time running down and no timeouts for either team, OJ Mayo hit the mid-range shot, putting the Memphis Grizzlies up 1 with 1.5 seconds left. The Kings didn't have any timeouts left and would need a miracle. And that's exactly what happened. Here is the NBA's greatest buzzer beater.
5 seconds, no timeouts. Tyreke at the hole. If you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. Tyreke Evans, and we're going to review it at the table.
How to get them now? This happened at the start. Every time we try, we fall apart. You can't seem to hold my heart close to you, and I know you make it clear that you want me out of here. Though it's loneliness you fear, close to you, but you don't know how to get them